It is Wednesday night, and it's been another unusual 7 days. I didn't do a live stream on the weekend. Wanted to kind of see how things would played out, and things played out not necessarily, I think, in the way that I would have wanted. A couple of major things I wanted to share. There's also some new music. Um, Maybe it's new music to you, maybe it's not. But regardless, that I would share a little bit. Um, how to start this? Well, I think we'll start with the first major news is Nemophila. It's been a few days, and I am not as big a follower as some of you are, and I can only imagine how terrible it was when you woke up or when you found out the news. Yeah, when you found out the news that Tamu and Hazuki would be leaving. Um, I mean, it was bad enough. Like, I was looking at the dates because I don't have it. Oh, is it? I'm not sure why that is. Hey, what's going on from Alaska? So is my mic really low right now? Should I talk like this? Is that better, guys? Okay. Um, okay, I'll try to talk more loudly. Hopefully it's okay. But yeah, the big news in terms of music and in terms of the Japanese music scene is that with Nemophila, half the band will be leaving. Both of them, both Tamu and Hazuki, soft. Okay, sorry guys, I'm not sure why that is. Um, Gosh, why is that? Hold on. Okay, is this better? Is this better? Was it pressing? Oh, really? Hold on, let me check.
Bluetooth. Okay, please let me know if it's okay right now. I turned off the Bluetooth, so it should not be connected to much better. Okay, sorry guys, thanks. Okay, cool. Thanks for letting me know, guys. Appreciate that. Yeah, so the big news is with Nemophila. It's been a few days. Let's go straight to this. And God, even as someone who didn't religiously follow them the way that I think some of you guys did, and I know are passionate about, and trust me when I say I completely understand what it's like to feel like you're losing a band that you have that you just love with all your heart. And to be fair, they're not technically breaking up. They're not ending Nemophila. For those of you who follow Twitter, I believe maybe on Instagram as well, Haraguchi herself said that Mayu and I will continue on, and we will do the best that we can. So what that entails, what that actually means, I don't actually know. Nobody knows really. They usually, way before announcements are made, especially these kind of announcements, I mean, this information is known for usually, not always, but usually for a fair amount of time. So it's fair to say that they knew that this would be happening. Who knows, at least a month or two in advance. But again, I don't know. That's just me conjecturing. So, but Haraguchi herself has said that they will continue on as Nemophila. So the name Nemophila will not die. It will not end. I think one of the reasons why I'm not as distraught in regards to Nemophila ending, or it's definitely the end of an era, no question about that. I mean, you started out with 5 of them. Saki leaving in 2024, if I'm not mistaken, back in March. So it was shy of their 2 years, but close to 2019, 5 years. Um, and then with Saki leaving, it was a huge loss. I think there are actually a fair number of people who kind of jumped ship when Saki did, or they lost heart. But definitely, there's still definitely those who still love Nemophila and still follow them. And it's again, it is tough. It is tough. I think for me, my outlook is slightly different just because living here in Japan and having been around the Japanese music scene for a few years now and seeing so many different players come and go. Um, I mean, any number of bands. My Little Devil recently, Little Lilith. You know, you have Empress. You have Sirius from the Zillion Mode group. Um, it's just there's this constant uh, cycling. I don't want to say recycling, but a constant cycling of musicians, performers, because it goes so deep in terms of relationships when it comes in terms of just the connections that there are in this community. And just because a band is bigger doesn't mean that they've lost touch with the Japanese indie scene. And when I say indie, I'm not talking about like indie rock the way I think Westerners think. Indie is just not signed to a major label. But if you look at somebody like uh, Miyako from Love Bites, she's closely connected with a ton of musicians who are still in this indie scene. You know, she has these gatherings with like Sally, the guitarist. Um, yeah. I hear you on that. I hear you on that. But with like Sally, Ayumi, Meito, who else is there? Hitomi. So there's all these musicians that a lot of people have no clue who they are, what band they're in, what music they play, but they're there. Yeah, Hagane is another great example, and they are like I have to say what Hagane was and what it is now. I mean, they bounced back like honestly better than ever. Having Juna on drums, having Nagi as on vocals, and just as a four piece, I mean, they really, really did an incredible job, not only of kind of maintaining where they were, but I believe really pushing beyond where they were prior to, even with Uyu on vocals, Meito on guitar, Kanako. Um, so it is possible. But again, it's there's a difference between having a band succeed and you loving certain members, right? It's very different. And so that's something that I can completely understand. And so in that way, again, it will never ever be the Nemophila that it was. There's just no possible way. When you are losing two more members out of the four who have been performing together, you know, writing together for the past couple of years, I mean, it just won't be the same. Um, so first off, I mean, I condolences aren't the word, but first of all, I just want to say like I understand. And do you say sorry to something like this? Gosh, it's tough. It's tough. But their last performance together will actually be October 12th, which is a show that I applied for. Um, and it's a pretty awesome show. It's East of Eden, Neki, Trident, and then Nemophila at Ex Theater Roppongi. I've been there once, twice? Once when it was The Warning and Band-Maid. Um, it's a pretty cool venue. Nothing too special, but it's a pretty cool place. And yeah, that will be the last time. Tamu has actually already left, technically. She left in July, but she's quote unquote support drums at this time. And Hazuki will be part of the band until October. So there's a couple of months left. I know you guys will cherish the performances, the memories, the music, all that stuff. And they might still come out with some amazing, incredible stuff, but I understand that it will not be the same band. Like I get that. Um, I've only honestly only seen Nemophila perform once, and that was at Club Cheetah when they were performing along with Hades. When Hades first, hey, what's going on, Michael? When Hades first performed at their biggest venue yet, and that was really cool because I was backstage, and particularly Mayo, and not just Mayo. I mean, the thing is, I don't know how deep your knowledge of Nemophila lore goes. I think for some of you it goes pretty far back. So you know that before she was Mayu, she was Cindy, and she was Cindy in the band Lipstick, along with Sally, who the guitarist who started the band. Um, and not to go too deep into everything, Mayu decided to leave Lipstick, and so Mayu gathered, these other musicians. So it was Mayu, it was Haraguchi-san, it was Tamu, it was Hazuki, and it was Haki. And so if you guys know back in the day, some of you discovered them later on, but they were throwing out these cover songs. And I do remember one of the earliest ones that I saw was of The Trooper, from Iron Maiden. And I remember somebody mentioned, I won't say who, somebody mentioned, I think this is better than the original. And I'm sorry to say, because even very recently, like Hagane came out with a cover of Run to the Hills. And I mean it's great, for what it is. But I'm just sorry. I don't think any cover of Iron Maiden is better than an Iron Maiden original. That's just me. Some of you guys might differ, and that's fine. That's fine. But I remember that. I remember seeing, again, Nemophila doing these covers from time to time. And I was like, okay, that's cool. It's somebody that both of us know, SJ. And I remember at that time, you made a comment about that. And I remember thinking the same thing, even though I didn't comment. So I'll talk to you later. But yeah. And so it was, but anyway, so it was really cool because at the Club Cheetah show, and this is what, a couple years ago, um, September, so almost 2 years, that I was backstage because I was helping out Hades with photos. And then I saw Nemophila perform, and then I went backstage, and then I saw them all interacting with each other. And they're like, oh my gosh, what's it been? Like 6 years and all this stuff. So Nemophila took off. But Mayu as Cindy with Lipstick was in the indie scene, very much so. And so she was, bumping shoulders with the members of Hades, but not as Hades, as Azazel, formerly known as. And so it was cool. I was just standing there in the hallway where they were interacting, and then they had like drinks and little snacks. And Tamu, I was like, wow, she is super, super small, as was Mayu, as was, everybody pretty much, because Saki wasn't there, and, she's the tallest one. But it was just cool. Like, I was just like, what I usually say to musicians when they finish a set, I'm like, ah, お疲れ様でした。お疲れ様でした, which means like, oh, good job, good work. And かっこよかったです. I was really cool. Or 素敵なパフォーマンスでした. It was a really awesome performance. Things like that. um, but yeah, I do remember more than anything, I was really taken out of everyone on that stage. I was taken by Tamu. Um, I mean, they're all respectively fantastic musicians at what they do. But I remember watching and listening to Tamu, and I thought, oh, she's special. She's special. She stands out to me out of that group. And again, everyone's got their favorites and they've got their preferences, and again, that's fine. But yeah, it was really cool to at least have seen them there, or just to have said hi to them. I guess it was my own little personal meet and greet. But yeah, along the way, I just never got a chance to see them again. And I hope I do get the ticket for this show on October 12th, as it will be the last show with the four of them. And I had never gotten to see them with Saki. Although I do remember the stories when they performed at Whiskey A Go Go. SJ was there, Mike Barber was there, and I'll talk about him in a little bit for those of you who know him. And how people weren't quite up to par they weren't quite up to Saki's expectations or standards. So she got kind of pissed. Like, what's up, guys? Come on. I expected more out of you. So it was pretty funny. But again, it's really unfortunate. I am curious where you guys stand with Nemophila and with this news. Like, hey, what's going on, Bill? Like for you guys, is Nemophila officially over? Are you gonna stop following? Some people have, as some people have on X anyway, have acknowledged that and said, yeah, I'm done. Talking to different people. Somebody else said, like I just after Saki left, it was just different. The music, the direction, which is something else that was mentioned in the departure letters, is that just with musical differences, and that's usually how it happens. Um, how are you guys with that? Like, are you guys completely devastated and heartbroken? Are you hopeful and think that the best is yet to come? Um, I mean, if your heart was with Tamu or with Hazuki, I mean, then yeah. But with Hazuki, she has been kind of blowing up with Koyai as well, and that band has been doing well. Yeah, I mean that's always the case. I mean, I think if you truly love a band and you love the members, and it depends, right? I mean, I think I think people tend to judge like your level of fandom. And the thing is you can't really control to an extent like where your fandom falls, right? You like a band as much as you like a band. And you can't control that. I like burgers as much as I like burgers and tacos as much as, or I love tacos as much as I love tacos. But that's very much dependent on like just kind of you. It's just you. You like what you like, you love what you love, you hate what you hate. And I think for some people, they're just for the music and the music is it. For others, they go so deep into the members, into like following them everywhere that they go. I mean, spending all their money, and it just, you know, um, it's like I know what it's like to be completely wholeheartedly devoted to a band, maybe twice over, but more so and especially in the beginning with Band-Maid. Especially for those of you who have known me since the beginning. I mean, it just, like how much of my heart was into Band-Maid and how much I love them. But for others, they like the music, and if the music is good, they follow. And if the music doesn't quite apply to their taste, then they kind of walk away. And again, I think that's fine. Um, Yeah, I think it's fine. For me, because I have again been in Japan and I've seen kind of the turnover rate of a lot of musicians, and I think there are success stories like Hagane. I think there's still hope. Um, one of the more recent devastating news for me was Brideer when Natsumi was leaving, and I was like, oh God, I love her drumming. It's one of the most muscular drummings that I've heard, and she's just such a bright light. So we'll see. As far as what other reasons and what really is at the heart of things, I mean, it's tough to say. Like people in Japan keep things pretty close to the chest. So, but my heart really does go out to all of you. And again, I listened to their stuff here and there, and I enjoyed stuff here and there, but they were never like a huge band for me. But I understand for some of you who just have kind of devoted yourselves to them, and for it to come down to just Mayu and Haraguchi. But yeah, if you really are just, I think, a Bleeding Red fan, you will follow the members where they go and you'll support them. But it does change. It does change. I mean, even with me loving Hades as much as I did and do, seeing Yuri play bass with Ash Frost is very different, or Milo play drums with various cover bands is very different. But as mentioned previously, with Sara band coming back and Kuya playing with her. That's very exciting. So I'm excited. But yeah, let's wait and see. Let's wait it out and see. Maybe you will love all that was, and then you'll eventually come to love all that will be. So, fingers crossed. Fingers crossed that things really work out well for them. And with Mayu and Haraguchi, they definitely stay true to who they are musically, and they find people who kind of have the same vision and heart for that. And I wish Nemophila continued success because they've definitely made an impact globally. So hey, what's going on? So that is a huge loss. Another loss that I want to mention, moving on from Nemophila news, is of Michael Barber. And I don't know how many of you out there, there's some of you who do know him, some of you who don't, and it's fine. But Michael Barber has been a huge, long time fan, supporter, um, an advocate of the Japanese music community for quite a few years. Um, and for those who do not know, although the news has kind of been spreading, uh, I'm sorry to report that he has passed away. He passed away last week, and news of it dropped a couple of days ago. I shared my own tribute to him, and yeah, it's weird because I don't know, I thought my mourning would be over with my sort of friend fan of Hades who passed away, and then gosh, just you know, I don't know. It's weird how this happens. So let's see if I can just pull up very quickly. Yeah, I won't play the video, but he was one of our early, very, very early, when SJ and I were doing a lot of interviews together. Um, it was easier to do back in the day. Let's go to oldest. And I don't know if you guys can see this, but there's videos of when before we were MNN. It was just SJ and I doing random stuff outside of the Belasco in downtown LA. Um, but yeah. So if I go to, let's see, will it?
With
Okay, let's see here.
for not quite as many.
Just a picture. Here we go.
It is wonderful to see you. Wish you a very
I signed it for not quite as
Band-Maid band since about.
All right, here we go. He is rocking a red rose. No, actually, his passing completely affects One Sky. He was more or less One Sky, the main financer and kind of just, yeah. So to share briefly, so Mike was a huge proponent, a huge fan of the Japanese music community. Started with Band-Maid, but he ended up just seeing any number of bands. He spent more time in Japan than I think in the States in the last several years. And so I would encourage him to just buy a house already. But he's like, I don't want to live here. But he kind of did, because he pretty much did anyway in hotel rooms. But yeah, he was an incredibly generous guy. Over in the next room, I have a Flappy Pigeon that I purchased off of Mike for basically $50, because I had meant to pay him back, but I was going through some financial issues, and it took a lot of time because I had to take care of other things too. And eventually he said, you know, it's okay. You invest a lot, you put a lot of value into the Band-Maid community, and so consider this sort of payment for that. And that was one of the huge things that he did for me. But I got to attend any number of Band-Maid shows because of him, and we did various things together. We had ups and downs. Let me just kind of share with you what I wrote in Band-Maid Fans Cafe, so you guys can just kind of understand kind of where we were. Yeah. But I'm curious, how many of you actually know him, knew him, and got to attend shows with him? And please go ahead, continue to share, and I'll just read this. So this is a picture of me and Mike in Hiroshima, going to see Band-Maid at Club Quattro. I don't remember which particular year this was. This was we met up in Osaka when I went to go see a show, and he was out with friends visiting. He has an Alaka shirt, and I have a Sana shirt. And then this is us also in Osaka, where I was trying to take care of some tickets for him because I gave him the wrong phone number and he couldn't get the tickets out. And this is an interesting story. I forget if it was Matsuyama? No, Takamatsu. Takamatsu, I think Big Monster. Mike had kind of made these sample Konami masks with sticks, and they were basically samples, a pretty fair size, really like a bit bigger than the actual head. This was for Konami's birthday. Takamatsu was awesome because it was a venue that was, I think, between 300 and 400 people. I think that was the smallest venue that I saw them at because I never got to see them at Eggman, which is smaller still. But it was a super humid, hot day. We snuck it under our shirts, and my sweat was all over one of them. And they took it from us in the crowd because it was that close, and we were pretty close up anyway. But they were kind of messing around with it, and then Miku ended up getting the mask and kind of tucking it into like her outfit, so it was kind of just there by itself, which meant that my sweat was touching her, and I felt terrible and was kind of happy at the same time. Miku, if you're watching this, which you probably aren't, I apologize with all of my heart. But it was a super fun time, a great show, fantastic. I mean, I think that was the show where they performed YYY as well off of no. Was it Flying High? No, I think it was YYY off of Unseen World, which is fantastic. And this was only one of the few things that, you know, he and I did. Oh, I have this here actually too. So this was at Hokkaido. This was at Sapporo or Otaru. I want to say Sapporo. And this was for Misa's birthday. So I designed this. Mike financed this. And this was just another thing. We passed this out to a bunch of fans. And for some reason, some people didn't want this. But I think this is super, super cool. Not just because I designed it, but because Misa's on here. And the maids are on here. One of my favorite birthday pics right there. So yeah, I mean, I think any number of people out there, who, especially those who are major Band-Maid fans, can attest to his generosity, to his frankness. He had 0 to a few percentage of filter, but mostly not, and would speak his mind very frankly. But he and I got close because of our love, not just for Band-Maid, but for music in general and for the community here, music-wise. And so, but we had ups and downs. Um, we kind of went through a lot together. Yeah. And I don't want to share too much because I just don't want to share too much. But we had an interesting relationship. I've shared with SJ only, really. Um, yeah, SJ, only you if you're still watching this from Alaska. And everyone say hi to SJ in Alaska. He's watching killer whales get their breakfast as he eats an apple or something. um, but yeah, there were definitely ups and downs. Oh, and I forgot to read this. So, but man, did he love this community? Did he love the music scene here in Japan? And he and I both strongly believed in trying to convert people and to expose people to the music here. I did it through MNN and through attending shows and trying to promote photos, all these things, because those were kind of my gifts in my area. And Mike eventually ended up founding One Sky and worked all along with Richard Hogan, Stephen Wills. I'm sorry, forgot the last name. Um, in different ways, but always to really push this Japanese music scene, which we both believed was just the greatest on earth. And it's completely arguable. I mean, it was our experience, and but for those, if you're watching this, I think a fair number of you also believe that too. The music that comes out of Japan is incredible. So let me just read this very quickly. I could be obnoxious, loud, and selfish. He could be abrasive, demanding, and unforgiving. We were both equally opinionated and passionate and didn't understand the concept of limits or moderation. Our relationship began with Band-Maid in 2019, but extended over the years to the Japanese indie scene. It was a trip before Band-Maid's first Tokyo Garden Theater appearance where I invited him to an intimate New Year's Brideer show at a venue called The Cat's Hole, which is fantastic. And he in turn invited me to a three-man at a venue called Takada no Baba Club Phase. And for the life of me, saying Takada no Baba to this day is just, it hurts my heart. But a first time of Risky Melody, Maze, and Little Lilith for the both of us. We were blown away, bewildered, and bewitched. We had initial and continued conversations as a couple of guys over local burritos, Korean food, or bar drinks that helped define each other's role in the Japanese music and fan community, and I grabbed pearls whenever they dropped. We disagreed on various points and bands, but never wavered from the fact that all these bands needed constant support and promotion, and that it was a glorious world that needed a push out of the hamster wheel. We were not a perfect or lovely pairing and could be infuriating to one another, but there was appreciation and respect for the way we invested in what we loved and believed in. He was immensely generous, and those waves washed upon my shores in a variety of shapes and pigeons, and I was grateful. In return, I would translate and order his food, nag him to hurry and buy a house here, or buy 2 out of his 20 tickets for Band-Maid to pass out to strangers and strangest, which was a habit of his even when I first met him. He just liked acquiring a lot of extra tickets that he could pass out, whether it was people getting a number that was higher up so they could get closer to the front, or it was just to invite people who were just had an opportunity to see Band-Maid for the first time. And it wasn't just Band-Maid, but a lot of it was Band-Maid. We had falling outs and falling ins, and I don't hold a saintly or sanitized image of Saint Michael, but a human and real experience of Mike Barber, a genuine guy from Houston. I once said he was from Dallas, and he chewed my head off for days and days, months and months, and he would still bring it up. So a genuine guy from Houston that I was fortunate to get close enough to see his face, shake his hand, and give a hug or get a head smack. I'm glad to know he lived out his remaining years as a fierce advocate and cheerleader of the community I love with all my heart. And I'm sad that he never got to see the bands he loved actually make it over to US shores. This year it was supposed to be, well, last year, Nemophila, along with Alika, Risky Melody. I forget who else there was, but this year it was supposed to be Alika, Risky Melody, Sai Sega, and Doll Parts. But I hope that one day they will, and I hope he understands the work he did made a difference. Truly, truly, I believe that his passion and his love for these bands and his generosity and just that spirit of really just kind of getting more people into this community, into this scene, it'll ripple out. I think it's impossible for it not to. How and to what extent, I don't know, but it will. So rest well, Mike. We had some damn good times, and it was truly terrible that Miku and Saiki put to their faces the Konami masks you made, and that we snuck inside with our sweaty asses. May you and your white cap be at peace. H for Houston. So it was Texas, or it was Houston, or it was Texas and A&M University, Astros, anything with a white cap. So rest in peace, Mike. We had some good times, some interesting times, some rough times, but I appreciate you for everything. And I know a big part of where I am and the things that I want is because of you, and because you helped expose me to this just incredible, incredible. It's like Avatar. If you watched Avatar for the first time in 3D, and when it was nighttime and everything went neon, it was just like, holy shit, this is incredible, and I want to stay in this world and live here, and I am, you know. And so Mike was as well. It's weird because I know Mike much more. I mean, partially Band-Maid, but again, a big part of it was just the community and the indie scene here for the bands that he loved. And yeah, thank you. Thanks, man. I appreciate it. And for the upcoming US tours, I think some things are being planned out. SJ has some things in mind. I think he's concocting some sort of potion for the tour. So I have not been watching any of the combos here. So if you want to relay anything, yeah. Yeah, I was really sad because oh, for those of you who don't know, some of you guys may have seen this towel. It's the Say towel with Miku there, and that was off of a video. I forgot which show it was. I forgot, but yeah, he had that made. He was asking me, what do you think about this one? What do you think about this one? So yeah, he had a couple of towels made, but he became even more notorious, and I don't know if I have the photos here right away. Actually, give me just a moment if I can find it on mine. Okay, here we go. So what you have here at the Dallas show is an actual life-size replica cake of the Flappy Pigeon, which was handled, I believe, yes. Mike liked to go all out and he liked winning. So, yeah. Uh, Mike also sent me a couple of photos, which I kind of want to share, but even with his passing, I want to respect that he asked that I not make this public, so I'm not going to. But he actually has a couple of photos that were sent by I don't know who of Miku seeing the cake for the first time. And she had her mask on because this was, kind of around COVID times or post. But she was like, really adorable, very endearing. She also had photos with the cake. Let's see here. Oh, I don't have that one. Darn it. But yeah, it was just really, really cool. So yeah. Yeah. Okay. Let's move on a little bit. I'm sure you guys do want to talk more about the US tour coming up. There's no extra info. You guys have more info on that than I do. I will not be attending any shows because I will not be going to the States. SJ will be there for at least LA and Dallas, I think you said. And yeah. Okay. Let's see. There are some other things that I do want to share. So a couple of shows that I attended very quickly is last week I attended a Mana Diagram and Saiseiga show at a place called Era in Shimokitazawa, really close by. Really super hot and humid, and God, it's just one of those shows where everybody was sweating super hard. Regan in particular from Saiseiga was just like, oh my God, I've never sweat this much in a performance. Like maybe the top 2 performances where I sweat the most. So it was a really cool show. It was the guitarist of Mana Diagram, Mint, his birthday. So it was extra special. Oh, take care, Brian. See you later. A lot of fun. It was a long set. I think it was at least like 45, 50 minutes each, or like an hour even. And Hiro Tajima, who was introduced to me by Mike Barber, was there as well. And for those who don't know, and those of you who do plan to go to Japan, I would like to promote as well. If you look up J-Rock Tours, yeah, J-Rock Tours, his name is Hiro, and Tajima, Tajima. It should pop up around there. He does do tours of just different shows depending upon when you arrive. And it varies in terms of what genre you're into, but he has all these foreigners from various countries come in, and anytime I'm there, I'll help talk to them and see what they're into and kind of just get their feedback. So it's really cool. But Hiro is actually the one who turned me on to Dim Rays during an interview that we did with SJ, with us and with him. So it was really cool. And he was also a huge, huge supporter of Hanabiye before they made it big. And I think his favorite story to tell is that during COVID times, he was the only one at one of their shows. If you can imagine, if you can believe that. There was a time where Hanabiye was struggling. And that's what happens with these bands. So, and then yesterday, it was a holiday. So I ended up being invited by Watanabe-san. Watanabe-san is the owner, the manager of Thundersnake Atsugi, and the manager of Whiskey Dust. For those, again, I don't know who's watching this or how many of you know about Whiskey Dust, but they do classic hard rock. Their music vibes 70s, early 80s blues rock. Great stuff. Fantastic vocals from Aya and incredible guitar from Erica Van Halen. Please look them up if you're into any of what I've just said. They draw from the band Whiskey Dust, from Van Halen, from Led Zeppelin. But it was a full-on, full-day festival, and it was at a hall, so it was a pretty large place, probably the biggest venue that Whiskey Dust performed at. And I went there for them. And Hana from Gatarik Spin was also going to play drums for about KM auditions. KM auditions? Who's KM? I know there's going to be, they're looking for a new vocalist, Winking Owl. And for those of you, again, this is kind of a deep cut because Winking Owl broke up a few years ago. If you don't know who they are, look up Winking Owl. And another band I loved when I first arrived in Japan back in 2018. Okay. Oh, that's right. Takeo, the vocalist, is leaving. Sorry. So Fuawa, the drummer, and then Yukina Impact, the bassist, who also is the bassist for Koyai now? East of Eden, not East of Eden, that's Mina. Yes, she is leaving, the singer is leaving. Okay, so yeah, I would have imagined that they were looking. Yeah, so again, it's unfortunately I've gotten used to just people coming in and out. But anyhow, so it was not only Whiskey Dust performing yesterday, but they would be joined on stage by Miki Sango Igarashi of Shoya. And although I've listened to Shoya, I'm not like a huge follower of them, but I thought that's really, really cool. So, I unfortunately did not know the schedule of that day, and it turned out that the first like 4 hours were dedicated to like high school, college bands that had won competitions. And okay, great, you're a Mayu fan. That's awesome, which means that because she's still around, because the band really is Mayu. Well, I mean, it's all of them, but since she's sticking around, I'm sure you will as well. But basically, I was watching the first couple of bands and I thought, it's cool. I'm glad that they won their competitions, but I don't think I want to exactly stick around. Not to be mean, but I like bands that have more of something before I see them or hear them. And these kids were young, they were very fresh, very excited, and it wasn't quite my thing. So I was eating and then I came back. But what was really cool was when Whiskey Dust did finally get on stage and Miki was with them. And it was interesting because, you know, she is getting up there in age. And so when she was introducing, I think they called it Whiskey Go, combining, hey, what's going on, Peter? She introduced Erica, the guitarist, well, and then she introduced the singer, Aya, as Erica again. And so she had to be corrected, and then Mickey was just like, this is what happens when you're getting older. So it was interesting when her talking voice was very grandmotherly. It was very elderly, but when she played guitar, damn, it was really, really good. And so they did covers of Shoya, and it was pretty sweet. They did 3 songs together, and then Whiskey Dust had their own thing. Unfortunately, I decided to leave earlier to get back home. So I didn't get to see Hana play drums, Gatarik Spin play drums with a really famous guitarist, but I don't know him. Bit more of a legacy player back in the day. But So yeah, but that was great because I think what's really cool is anytime you get a chance to see a band that you love, for me in a smaller band play in a bigger venue for the first time, and you hear that sound and you just think, holy shit, this is awesome. Like you can see the potential, you can hear it a lot better. You may envision it mentally, but when you actually hear it, it's like, wow, Aya's vocals was just booming, and Erica's guitar just, with all that hall reverberation was just blazing. Fantastic. A lot of fun, a lot of fun. So I was happy to see that. I was really excited because I was getting tired from the other bands. Um, so yeah, those were the shows. I did want to kind of mention, initially I wanted to play, but I think it's going to go a little bit too late. So let's go into. Oh, so Sally has a new. Um, so I'm going to be playing some music, and because I am, this video will not be monetized. If you wish to send me a super chat for a couple of dollars, that would be greatly appreciated. But if you don't, please enjoy the new music you're introduced to. But Sally does have a new track out that was just uploaded like a couple of hours ago. So it's good stuff. Let me turn the light down a little bit here. And this was back in March when Ayumi joined her on stage. Mari, formerly of Mary's Blood, usually plays, not usually, but often plays drums for her. And then Azu of Cynthia plays bass. So if you can hear it. But yeah, definitely go check it out on your own time. Sally is one of my favorite metal guitarists. Really, truly uncompromising when it comes to her tone, her sounds, her vision for just metal. Yeah, one of my favorite, actually, instrumental tracks from her. What do you guys think? Do you dig it? Are you into it? Okay, stop it right there because there are other bands, other music I want to play for you guys. But yeah, definitely enjoyed that. So this is a band that just kind of popped up, YouTube logarithm. If you're into this music, it's kind of a throwback to early 2000s. This band is called Sezco, and some of you may actually know about them. You might not be in sort of the R&B vibe here, but the chorus is really cool, and the ending chorus into the coda is great. Her vocals go like Avril Lavigne-ish, and I personally love Avril Lavigne, so. Chorus. And they have another song out too, another MV. Hey, what's going on, Mark? I don't totally love this sort of R&B quality aspect in this section, but the chorus more than just wins me over. And this music video makes me want to see them live and see how they are. Once it gets to the chorus, the way she hits those high notes. Right? This code is awesome. Yeah. You know, all it takes is one song to get into a band and to want to go see them. And then you go see them, and sometimes bands can change your life. That's how it was with me in Hades, So yeah, that band is called Sezko, Sezko. Definitely check them out. There's another track that they have. I'm not gonna play it for you. It's called Shed It. Shed, like, you know, skin, shed tears. But yeah, Sezko. They only have 3.4 K subscribers, so see what you think. And then Dollsbox has some new music out for Dogengers. And Dogengers is kind of like this amalgam of sort of superhero, local superhero-y stuff. It's very poppy, it's very like kid-friendly. I'm not gonna play all of it. It's not like their best song, but it's, you know, you can check it out. All right, let's see here. So yeah, I'm not sure if I'll be able to actually attend any Dollsbox shows, but let's see what happens. And Huki is like 40 now. Like, it's crazy. Tell me that's 40. Oh my gosh. So it's not going to be like #1 on your playlist, but I don't think that's quite the intent of this song. All right, we'll stop right there. So that's just another one from them. Another one, a band that's been blowing up is Ice Hagasa Eyeshadow with Yukina, not Yukina of Hanabi, but Yukina of Ice Hagasa Eyeshadow. She has a new track that just dropped. She was there with Hanabi and with Sim. This was last week. So she did a great job, but she's actually... I think they did this video right either before or after that performance. It's crazy. It's a good song. And there's a pigeon for you Band-Maid fans. She's an incredible performer. Like live, she is incredible. If you guys ever make it out to Japan, or if she ever makes it out, I definitely encourage you guys to check them out. Ice Hagasu Eyeshadow. Ice Hagasu, looking for love, eyeshadow. So AI Sagasu, SAG ASU. Oh, chills. Oof. Yeah, really, really amazing stuff. Man, she's one of the few performances where like she made me cry from her performance. Like she's really good. She's not fluff, and it's not just sort of like harsh vocals and like electro pop or like club beats, whatever. Like she's legit. Like she really is amazing as a performer, as a singer, as an artist. So definitely check them out. And I wasn't going to mention this, but this is a band that truly blew up, and really their management and their promotions like just took off. I mean, they were constantly uploading content on YouTube, on X, on Instagram, probably TikTok. I don't really do TikTok, so I don't know. But this is their first major release. This is MNU, or MU, EMNW. And I didn't get to see them perform when they were small. This is only like a year and a half ago, maybe, where they performed with Dim Rays at this small place in Shimokitazawa nearby. And I was like, okay, this is cool. Like this one song gives me Beastie Boy vibes. It's really, really cool. So I took a photo with them, even though I didn't get to watch them perform, bought their CDs, and then year and a half, like it's wild. So this song is actually not their best one, but I'm so impressed with their management and just what they did. It's really great stuff. So they do sort of like new metal stuff with rap. But it's interesting because they actually have like solo stuff, and they're like really great solo singers, vocalists. Yeah, so it's they are, I don't know if they're completely produced. Oh, thanks for noticing. So Ellen, another great friend of MNN. We had lunch together because he told me that he had this stuff and for me. So we had lunch, we talked, and he dropped this off. This is the second A1 Cholula pairing. The first time was by Eric Ifune. Forgot when this was, a few months back, but I always say if you ever come by to Japan and you want to gift me in any way whatsoever, um, Mexican hot sauces and A1 sauce are the way to go. So not sponsored by, but grateful for. Yeah, so MNU, I have never seen a band since I've been a part of the scene. I've never seen a band blow up this quickly. But they did it right. They're I don't know if they're fully produced or partially produced by somebody named Kubori. And Kubori, hold on. Kubori, I forget which group he's in. Kubori. Mongol 800? What band is it? Yeah, Mongol 800, which isn't really a known band, but great production. So I don't know if he does the songs entirely from scratch, and I'm sure there's others involved as well. But again, fantastic job. I really wish that, and I wish, but it's smaller bands and they work as well, and they don't have all the time in the world. But I really do wish that the bands here just had better management, better promotion, and really pushed and understood like the reality of just the ebb and flow and the constant crashing waves of just content. And you kind of have to fight that. You know, you can't just sit on your ass, and it's unfortunate. So, but yeah, do I want to play Negiton? Sure, we'll do a couple more. Okay, the last couple. The last couple. So Negiton is actually a high school group, and I think they may be about to graduate. Their first song that I really got into was a song called Victory, which is really cool. But also reminded me of an old Michael Damian song called Rock On. But this one is very summer oriented. It's summer's fantasy, summer's illusion. I won't play all of it, but it kind of gives like old school, very J-pop rock, a little bit of Scandal. Lighter stuff, but it's good stuff. But I am curious how people in Japan view this and how it hits them when they watch this visually, and you know, not just audio wise, compared to like a 60-year-old guy in Georgia in the States watching this. You know, like the music, the lyrics, the video, the images, the experience of it all, like how different that is. But really catchy stuff. Like, I don't know if their performance would be amazing, but I would definitely love to hear their music live. Yeah, there's a sweetness to her vocals I really like. And it's good music. but it's good light stuff. Okay, we'll stop right there. Okay, I lied. There's gonna be a couple more tracks. So Haku, some of you guys know them, maybe you don't, but they're a band that I've seen live a couple of times, and they're pretty amazing live. They've got this very legit musician quality to them in the performance, especially when they get into these sections where like they're really just vibing and hitting pockets, and it's just gorgeous stuff. But this is their latest track. I'm not sure how to say this in Japanese. It means one, and the kanji means like susumu, to travel, to progress. But these girls go for sort of vintage indie art rock, a little bit kooky, but really fun. Yeah, but these girls are super talented. Oh, thank you. I didn't see the super chat. Thank you so much. Oh, Paul, thanks, man. Appreciate that. Isekai Trigger. Okay. So that's Haku. This song here, Sore Shikai Inai, is a great song. Isekai Trigger. Huh. Sekai Trigger. Live version. Okay, well I'll just play here the topic. So it's just the audio. Haku's great. Yeah, I can hear the early Band-Maid. I could see Miku swing with her apron, and Psyche with her apron back in the day. Yeah, more of a garage rock sound. That's cool. Oh yeah, that's good. Yeah. Oh yeah, that's good. I see they went to the local t-shirt shop and bought their Sonic Youth, Oasis, Nirvana, and AC/DC. I probably wouldn't have done that, but yeah, good find. Isekai. Oh yeah, goddamn, that chorus. Like I love garage rock, I love pop rock, I love punk rock, but this captures, yeah. What do you guys think? Yeah, good vocals, man. E apostrophe Sekai, Sekai. I think I would love this song in a live performance. I can see it. And there's like an emotional pull too, like melodically. Holy shit. Great find. Okay. I'm gonna play something that may be controversial. Not really controversial. But so I feel like this song has already, or this music video already has 1 million views. So I feel like a lot of you have seen this. The song is called Deep Dive by a Korean band that just popped up out of nowhere called Alice Syndrome. This is 2 weeks ago. My first listen, I was thinking the Veronicas. But yeah, it's very manufactured. It's very produced, but it's insanely catchy. It's one of those insanely very tight, under 2.5 minute songs. It's really catchy. And because it is Korean, they have to throw in like a little rap inside, which can get kind of frustrating, but I can forgive it. It's a good song. So Deep Dive by Alice Syndrome.
Babe, I adore you. I'm in the background of your show. It can be lonely, but sometimes the best thing that I know. But once I'm in it, I'm hooked just so addicted. So if I just saw you, and I hate those pretty eyes. Let's talk about you and all that you do. Like blowing up words and they confuse me. Talk about us, we're turning to dust. Fighting and screaming till we're naked. And I think you're a little bit stupid. I think you're a little bit shit. Let's talk about me and not about you. Cause I didn't know why you're so comfy. Bragging about this and that, boy. You even know me. It's like your ears don't work at all. Deep dive into me through these eyes like a sea of hatred. Mama told me buck up just in case he verbal matrix. Projection injected, I'm just really behaving. No definition needed. You're just leaving me cause you're craving for nothing. And all that you do, like blowing up words and they confuse me. Talk about us, we're turning to dust.
Really? Huh. Alice, like Alice in Wonderland, Syndrome. But doesn't it kind of give you the Veronica's vibe? So the vocalist, her name is Taira. And then the lyrics and composition, aside from Taira, are by, I think, Swedish guys. Lotte Morkved, Christian Moenvik, and Nesta Petrauskaite. Yeah. So not quite Korean in terms of composition and just yeah. So I'm curious, like how this band formed, and how it came to be. But I'm also curious where they're going to go. In the past 2 weeks, they've gone up to 50,000 subscribers, a million views. Again, super super tight, super super catchy. Taira T A. Okay, is from Japan. Pretty cool. Unless she changed her name from Naira to Taira. I don't know. Interesting. Now I'm very, very curious about their history. But yeah, I saw a live performance, and the guitarist actually she can play. Like this is a very basic solo, but the live performance, if you guys look it up, like she goes off. So it's pretty cool. So for some people who are more critical, they might not consider it really, really rock. But hey, what's going on, Alan? I was just talking. I was just talking about you, Alan. I was just talking about you and how much I appreciate you so much. I'm happy. I hope your foot's doing all right. So yeah, guys, this is Alice Syndrome. The other bands: Isekai, E apostrophe Sekai, Aisagasa, Eyeshadow, Haku, Sezko, Sally with her new track. But yeah, I kind of felt compelled to introduce some new songs. I think with, yeah, the Veronicas with Michael Barber passing. It just kind of reminded me like what was my reason for doing this? What did I want to do when I talked to SJ about kind of starting to introduce these new bands? Because MNN, as you guys know, started off as a Band-Maid focus centered channel that would focus on the band and the community, and we did that. I think we did it very well. But the minute I was introduced and exposed to not just the music but the world of indie bands and just kind of the struggles they face just trying to sell a t-shirt, sell a CD, sell a wristband, and I mean, a lot of these bands, a majority of these bands barely get by. Like the money that they get, that they profit from ticket sales, because it's percentage off with like the venue itself, possibly with the main band that's playing, who knows what else, because there's different ways to kind of break that up. But they're doing it because they have dreams and they have passions, and as we've seen, in the past couple of years or longer, however you've been around, is just bands can come and they can easily go. So you really do have to appreciate them while they're around and really push for them while they're here. And it just kind of reminded me, like, yeah, we need to sort of bring and help bring these bands to the forefront, especially the ones that we believe in, that we really think have a future and a possibility. And even if they don't become the biggest bands, because they don't have to. They don't all have to be huge, multi-platinum, if that's even a thing anymore, really. But to help these bands survive, so that they can continue making music that just really enriches our lives. And I think that's something that we take for granted so much all around us, all around the world. There's art that really enriches our lives and sustains us and helps us to live another day longer, because we love it and it moves us and it makes us feel and it makes us want, you know? Oh, sorry, no, the title. Sorry if it was misleading. The loss of Band-Maid was a really major fan who has supported the band, for the past decade, and has been a huge part of the Band-Maid fan community, passed away last week. And so for those of us who has been around for a long time, you know, it's a huge loss, and it's not only to, I think, the Band-Maid community, and I think even to Band-Maid, but also to the Japanese indie band, because he was supporting and he had started a foundation called One Sky, which is trying to bring these indie bands from Japan to the States for people to be exposed to them and to get a taste of that live performance. So yeah, didn't want to scare you that way. But you know, and I do think that's maybe one of the reasons why Mike lasted as long as he did, you know, is that he just was driven by love and passion to really explore and expose and to um, just kind of share, you know, the amazing bands and the amazing people that are out here. So, but yeah, this has been me. Um, I'm gonna have to get some rest soon, but I appreciate you guys joining me on this day. Um, Sorry, you know, I've been missing so much or almost all of the or missing all of the things that you guys wrote here. Really apologize for that. And goddamn, she's from Japan. That makes me so curious because she really looks Korean. Um, yeah, Isekai is good. Let's see. I do hate YouTube as well. Yeah, but you know, sorry, going back to Mark, as far as being 60 in Virginia, it's just that, you know, you see there's something about, you know, wearing the school uniform, being at that Japanese school and singing this song and um yeah, but you know, of course we all get good music. Um yeah, yeah, Scandal vibes. Okay. All right, all right, all right. That's cool. Okay, seeing Emma from from MU. Yeah, they're both great singers. If you haven't, check them out on their solo stuff. Yeah, as far as just bands lasting, and I think a big part of it too. Um, sorry, I'll wrap this up really quickly, but I think a big part of it is that we're exposed to a lot of bands in a way that we never were before. So we're learning about bands that we never would have, you know, via SNS, whether it be YouTube or, you know, other channels. Um, and so, you know, in the States, there's bands breaking up all the time, but we're not really a part of that particular mix right now. And the other thing too is that in Japan, it's kind of a different culture because again, you have musicians who are playing for any number of bands. A huge, yeah, like for example, Kano, who is officially and only officially a member of Zilke, but she also plays for Undying Word. She plays for Dim Rays. She plays for Picarin. She plays for Trael, which is sort of a sort of more pop blues kind of chill vibe band. And then, you know, whoever else calls upon her. But I think when you get pulled in different directions, and I think Japanese, what it seems like is that Japanese musicians tend not to want to compromise what their musical vision is, which is why like Meito ended up leaving Mana Diagram, and possibly also because of, you know, Hagane. Um, you have Erica and Shiori, who were playing with Little Lilith for, you know, a few years, but they ended up going their own ways. And so I think another thing about the culture here is that people want to stay true to what they love. And there are very particular music tastes. And I think when management or the band itself decides they want to pursue this direction, the leader does anyway, they just can't continue. Um, you know, it's kind of like, if have you guys ever seen La La Land? Because in La La Land, you know, Ryan Gosling's character, he wants to be a true musician to really do this jazz that he really loves. but then in order to sustain and to make money, he ends up, joining the sort of jazz slash pop, very produced, very manufactured band, and eventually it kind of eats him up, like in the long run, and it kind of kills, I think, the true integrity of who he was as an artist. But I think in Japan, people kind of want to hold on to that. So, so yeah. No, it is sad. Absolutely. I agree with William. There are a lot of bands out here that do break up, and it is heartbreaking when a musician that you love, part of a band, is a part of a band that you really love. And, again, my experience in the past 3 years is just, oof, some hit harder than others. But when you see this unit, this group, um, it's rough. Like, if you were growing up reading comics, like depending upon when you were introduced to the X-Men, hey, this isn't the X-Men that I know. Like, this is the X-Men, right? Like, for me, it was Colossus, it was Nightcrawler, it was Kitty Pryde, um, it was Rogue. So it was Storm, Cyclops. Like, there are certain key members in certain groups that really mean that to you specifically. And when those people leave, like, I mean, sure, you like it, maybe you still love it, but it's a different story. So I definitely understand, like, Bill, that sentiment. I get it is hard, it is rough, and I think for me, being more closely associated with these bands, talking to them, befriending some of them, um, yeah, because like it's personal lives, not just the music, but and it's not just a band, but it's like individuals who have lives, and maybe what that band meant to them, and yeah, so it's hard. I think it's hard. So anyhow, guys, I want to thank you again. My heart to all of you who feel the loss with Nemophila. Um, Condolences to all of you out there for Michael Barber. Very unfortunate for One Sky that this year as well, because of what happened last year as well, that the bands Risky Melody, Alaka, Dull Parts, and Saiseiga will not be coming to the States. I think some of you are looking forward to that, and I do hope that one day there is an opportunity. I hope that One Sky somehow is able to continue and do something. I don't know what, because the real visionary for that was Michael. So fingers crossed, fingers crossed that things somehow work out. And, all these bands that you heard today, some of them new, some of them old, but I hope you continue to support them and look out for more. And please let me know, introduce me. I'm happy to. So. All right, guys. Thank you again. Thanks for being a part of the journey. And thanks for being a part of this community, for just joining me and just being here. So hope you guys enjoy the rest of your week. There was a typhoon, which became more of a, what is it called? A tropical depression. I don't know what the term is exactly, but it got a little bit weaker, so it was safe. But thanks, guys. I will catch you guys again, and thank you again for joining. This has been Peter from MNN, and I will see you soon. Peace and love, guys. Peace and love. Thanks. Bye. And thanks, Paul, for that. Isekai. I'm going to listen again right when we get off. Bye, guys.